Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Yellow Studio Live. I'm so excited you're here. Tonight we're going to talk about blogs and why blogs are so important for your website, why they're important for your content creation in general. And we're going to do some trial and error demos with a prompt chain to help turn our blogs into content for social media. So let's get started. I want to say first that um, blogs are really important. Hi, Jelly Bean. For your SEO on your site, for visibility, for people to find your website when they're looking for your topic, and for creating credibility and reliability. I worked on writing blogs last year for my site. I started out doing 2 a week. I would say about a third of the way through the year. And then further into the year, I started doing 3 blogs a week. Two like content blogs for the Yellow Studio, and then one art blog because I wanted to get my art out there a little bit more. Oh, Chili Bean. Yes, it would. It would have credibility. Everyone knows something about their thing, and you could talk about your art, about your life, about your business, how you're building it. Um, even even when you start from the beginning in a blog, how you built a business from the beginning, it will pick up so much traction because people love to see a story from start to finish. So after focusing on blogs last year so heavily, I got my site in only 6 months to come up on Google search as number 1. And that is with other yellow studios out there. So I was very impressed, very excited, and it proved to me once again something I already knew, is that blogs are so valuable on our websites for getting us visibility and getting us seen. They're also really good for AEO, which is when people are searching in AI for topics and it gives reference links or gives you links to read more, you're more likely to come up in there also because you have so much valuable content sharing what you know and talking about the things that other people might seek out. It also brings me daily traffic, drawing new eyeballs to my site and my offerings. And that is really incredible. It's very hard to, there's a million websites out there, maybe more. I don't know how many there are. Be interesting to find out. But there are so many websites out there and so many people talking about similar things. And so, how do you get your traffic to your site organically? Blogs are a great way to do that. And like I said at the beginning, you can turn your blogs into short form content for social media. So you can take a blog, put it into AI, and then ask AI to help you create short form content for social. It makes content creation really fast. Jelly Bean says, nice. Too many acronyms. Long day. Yes, it was a long day. It was a long Thursday. But I'm ready to be here with you guys and play around a little bit and see what AI gives us. And let's see here. I'm going to put this away. That was just my notes. And I want to go to Firefox, and we're going to go to Claude. Now, Claude is my favorite for writing. You can use ChatGPT, Perplexity, Notebook LM, LM Arena. Like, there's so many places to work with AI, and use the one that you're familiar with that you like the best. I really like Claude for writing because you can create a project in Claude add in your brand voice, add in some of your own writings, and it gets a feel for how you talk and what you like to how you like to express yourself. And then that way it gets a lot closer to what you would have said, so that when you're editing the blog or content that your AI writes, it's a lot closer to how you speak and you're not having to edit it a ton. I really like that about Claude. So this is what you see when you get to your Claude account. They have free accounts and paid accounts. I believe the projects are only in the paid accounts. But it does have memory now, and I'm not sure if that is in the free or just paid, but it's $20 a month. It's really worth it for the amount of content it creates for me. So I really appreciate that. If you see over here on the side, you have a little menu. You can work on code with Claude. You can use artifacts. We can work on that one night. And then you can see your chats, or you can go to projects. So for tonight, we're going to go to projects because I have my brand voice and everything put into this yellow studio project here. So when we open this up, you're going to see I have all of these other chat threads that we've talked about back and forth. Now in here, it has the memory, it has instructions, and then it has files. And so the files are what I put in that are rules, brand voice. I put my branded voice in first. And then every once in a while, Claude goes off the rails a little and forgets that I don't want a certain type of language, or maybe not a certain type of word. Like it loves to go back to reverting to that I drink coffee, and I don't drink coffee. It's just a weird phenomenon, but I can't have caffeine. And so whenever it says that, I have to go edit it. So I like to put that rule in there that we're never going to say that I drink coffee, because that's not who I am. It's not part of who I am. And who you are is your brand, right? You can't do images in Claude, so that is a disadvantage. Chat is definitely more fun for that. So now currently I use ChatGPT for, I call her Kate. She's my strategy assistant, and I love to work out strategy with Kate because Kate has such great ideas. She's really good at bouncing ideas off, and she is really good at searching the web fast for other people's ideas, so that, and then to compare and contrast how I stand out, so that I'm always standing out in my brand compared to other people doing in the same field. And then, of course, for imagery, I love chat for imagery. We were doing images last night, creating toys of my selfies. That was so much fun. So I do have both. It is $40 a month when you have both, but you could do one free and one paid if budget is a concern. So, but for writing, Claude just wins every time. In fact, I have done so many tests where I'll have chat write something and then Claude write something, and then the comparison is just miles apart. Chat, no matter how many times I give it my brand voice, rules, instructions, etc., even in the projects that chat has now, I still don't get my voice out of it. And I feel like Claude gets me. It understands me. So Claude is my French copywriter. She does a great job at copywriting and writing blogs and helping me write social media posts, etc. Some I just wing them. It's so much faster to wing your captions if you can come up with the things on the fly. But if you're having one of those days where you just can't come up with it, or you're going to post 30 posts and schedule them out and you want some help, you can get all of those all at once. So let's go to my blog and pick a blog to use tonight for an example. I want to use this 3 a.m. panic scroll blog. I have a hot tea tonight. I was my voice last night. I guess my voice is not used to talking this much yet. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all and copy. And I'm going to come over to Claude and I'm going to paste. And it's going to paste it into this little document. That's another thing I really like about Claude. Chat doesn't do that. It'll paste it just straight into the chat box here. And then you'll have a big, huge thread of conversation. It is. It's lemon ginger tea with honey. It's my favorite. Well, that and mint. I love mint tea in the morning. Or, well, no, in the evening too. I love honey and lemon. I mean, honey and ginger. Lemon and ginger with honey. Okay, I guess my brain's tired today. Okay, so I put in the blog here and it made a little small document. And now I'm going to go over to the prompt chain and I will share these in there as well, in the chat as well for you guys to use, copy and paste and use. All right. Looking for the first one. Hang on one second. This is 7 prompts to turn an article or blog post into social media posts and short form video scripts. Okay, the first prompt is long. Okay. Act as a content repurposing strategist. I have a blog post titled AM Panic Scroll. And I'm going to say attached with key points about, I'm actually going to take this off since I put the whole blog in there. And then I'm going to say turn it into 3 tweets, 2 short form video scripts for TikTok, IG Reels, or YouTube Shorts. I'm actually going to change this to Sora 2 because that is what I've been using for my video lately. 1 carousel style post for LinkedIn or Instagram. Make each format engaging, adapted to platform tone. Ask me any questions you have. Now I'm going to take off the ask me any questions you have because Claude and I have worked a lot together and she shouldn't have any questions about my voice at this point, especially when I give her a blog I've written and she has all of my other rules and brand voice and everything. So we're going to hit send and see what she gives us. Let me put that prompt in here for you. Oh, it's too long. That is the frustrating part. Okay, I will put it in pieces. Here's part. Here's another part. And here's the last part. Now, if your AI doesn't know you that well yet, then asking any questions they might have is a great last thing to put in your prompt because it will help get your brand voice and how you would talk and what you want to talk about a little bit better than it would if it didn't have that information on you. So we got 3 tweet ideas. Now, I don't use Twitter anymore, but these could be really good repurposed as quotes on like graphic quotes where you go into Canva and you just have a blank colored background and you put black or white text. And then you could share those on social, share them on Pinterest, etc. So let's see. Tweet one, the hook. It's 3 a.m. and you're scrolling your bank account instead of sleeping. Your brain is calculating if you can afford groceries and art supplies this week. This is financial anxiety, and it's killing your creativity one sleepless night at a time. Here's the truth no one tells you about being an artist. And then I suppose you would click link to the blog in that case. Tweet two, the Mythbuster. Hot take, Van Gogh being broke doesn't mean you need to be broke to make great art. Tweet three, what if instead of waking up at 3 a.m. worrying about money, you woke up to sales notifications. Now I love when this happens. Having a print on demand store, it is so exciting when you wake up and you say, oh, sale, sale, sale. It's just fabulous. And throughout the day, you get the little bings and you have sales. It's fantastic. So then it gave us 2 short form video scripts for Sora 2. It knows that the videos are 10 seconds because we've talked about that in the past. But if it gave you something that is out of sorts, you could just say, no, I need the video to be 60 seconds. I need it to be 30 seconds. I want it to be 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever you want it to be. So it gave me a Sora 2 prompt, create a 10-second editorial video filmed at the Yellow Studio Art Space with yellow accents. The scene is beautifully lit with professional editorial lighting, showing a woman with fresh, clear skin wearing a lavender vintage-inspired dress with a coral cardigan. The setting is artistic, clean, and professional with no magical elements or floating objects. Now, I would probably just take off the with no magical elements because Sora 2 might take that as a with magical elements. But that's good job. That's a good job on Claude's part that she's remembering that I don't want any magical elements or floating objects like I was talking about in my Sora video last week or a while back. I love that she remembered that I want to have a pastel colored dress. I gave her the colors to alternate through and a cardigan in the colors that I gave her to alternate through. So that's fantastic. It says she is standing in a studio while delivering the script on camera with natural, subtle movement. Overall tone, artistic, high-end, editorial, modern, creative, grounded, beautiful. And then there's a script. It's 3 a.m. and you're calculating if you can afford art supplies this week. That financial panic, it's not making you a better artist. It's just stealing your creativity. What if art could make money while you sleep instead? That's what we're building here. That's a great script. Great prompt, great script, fantastic. It gives us video 2 for the starving artist myth, a carousel for LinkedIn and Instagram, 7 slides. The cover is visual. The visual for the cover is bold text on a yellow background with lemon illustration. Very cute. And that is based on Claude seeing some of my other graphics. It knows what I like graphically. And then it says the 3 a.m. panic scroll, why financial anxiety is killing your creativity and what actually works instead. Slide 2 would be the problem. A simple illustration of a person in bed with phone. Text is 3 a.m. You should be sleeping. The real cost. Brain illustration with stress markers. Text, financial stress doesn't just affect your wallet. The lie we believe. Visual crossed out starving artist. Text, the starving artist myth, which is such a myth. We do not have to be starving to be artists. We just do not. But we do have to have multiple streams of income. And if you ask any wealthy person what they do for a living, they'll tell you the one thing. But then if you ask them how they make their money, they'll list off 10, 20, 15 things that bring in money for them, some even more. Slide 5, the historical truth, simple portraits of famous artists. Even starving artists had support. Monet had patrons, O'Keeffe supported by her spouse, Van Gogh had his brothers send money monthly. The solution, visual illustration of art turning into products. What if your art worked for you? Your watercolor becomes a mug. Your illustration becomes a tote. Listed once, sells while you sleep. Financial foundation equals creative freedom. Slide 7 would be a call to action, and then it would draw them to my link in bio. Fantastic. That's a great carousel. That could be used on LinkedIn or on Instagram. I love it. It could also be made into a video. You could make those slides in Canva and then make it a reel. Add some cute little animated things happening on each page from their stock animations. And then it gives us some tips about posting. Very fun. Okay, let's try the next prompt chain. Oh, okay, this one's not as long. Good, good. I'll give you this one. Oh, nope. It's still too long. Wow, they do not let you do a lot in the chat, do they? Let's see here. Here's half, and here's the rest. Okay, so act as a short form video script writer. I have a blog post. I'm just going to say attached. I'm just going to say for the blog post attached, create 3 short video scripts under 60 seconds each based on the most interesting or surprising points. Include a hook, core message, and call to action. Tailor each to a social first tone. And I'm going to take off ask me any questions you have. Because Kate knows me and we're not going to ask questions, are we, Kate? Okay, so, it gave us a Sora 2 prompt and then a script. So she remembered that I had asked for Sora originally, which this is great. I could make each of these videos and then stitch them together in Canva, or I could use this direction and record a video of myself saying all of these things. But that is what I'm loving about Sora, is that it uses my Cameo, which is a video of me live talking to the camera, and then makes the video for me in a matter of seconds instead of me having to set up, get dolled up, get on camera, get the right lighting, etc., etc. It handles it all, which I really love. So the first one is the 3 a.m. test. The second one is Van Gogh had a sugar brother. That's a very cute title. Since his brother sent him money. The real reasons your art isn't selling. And those are our 3. She also gave us visual elements to include, editing tips, hashtag strategy, best posting times, pro tips for maximum engagement. That's fantastic. And then she says, do you want me to create B-roll suggestions, thumbnail ideas, or alternate CTAs for testing? So you could go through, if you were really planning this off of your blog, you could go through and push it further and further and further. You would say, yes, give me B-roll suggestions and thumbnail ideas and alternate CTAs for testing. And it would do it all at once. The next prompt in the chain, I'm loving this. This is going to be enough content off of one blog for weeks. Act as a carousel content creator. I want to turn my article, let's say the attached blog, into a swipeable, visually engaging post for LinkedIn or Instagram. Break it into a 7-slide outline with bold headlines and captions for each. Focus on clarity, punchiness, and value. And I'm going to take off ask me any questions. If your AI knows you really well, the questions part is going to slow you down because it will ask you questions since you said to go ahead and ask you any questions. It wants to do what you ask it. So asking the questions sometimes can be counterintuitive since you're trying to help it go a little more quickly. Jilly Bean says, I love the Sugar Brother. Me too. That's a great title. I mean, talk about a hook. Okay. So carousel post, it's going to give us very similar to what we had above, I believe. But it's actually, I love that it's giving us it in this format, how nice this is that you could just copy, paste it into Canva, copy, paste it into Canva, copy, paste it into Canva, and have these nice laid out slides with your branding. The hidden cost, the lie we believe, the historical truth, the solution, and call to action. I'm not sure if that's my yellow, but I think it is. I'm actually curious, since I have it handy. That is not my yellow. So I need to let Claude know what my brand colors are again. But this is still fabulous. And I have all of my brand colors saved in Canva, so that would not be an issue. And then she even wrote a caption for the carousel post, a nice long caption, and pro tips for maximum engagement. Thanks, Claude. She's such a sweetie. Okay, I wonder if I can post this one in the chat for you guys. Bad Kate. Okay. Here's half. Gosh. Now it won't let me delete what I put in there. Okay, there we go. And here's another half. These are very short prompts and it won't let me put them in the chat, unfortunately, as one. Okay. So now we want a social media teaser series. This is going to give us a series of teasers to get people to read our blog. Act as a content marketer. Help me repurpose my attached blog into 5 social media teaser series that leads people to read the full post. Each post should include a key insight, a question or a bold statement, and a CTA to read more. Okay, good job, Claude. I love Claude. 5 posts, the relatable hook, single image plus caption, best for Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. A dark background with an illustrated phone screen showing 3:47 a.m. and a bank app open, soft glow effect pastel accents. It's 3 a.m. and you're scrolling your bank account again. And then it has the caption. That's awesome. Post 2, the Mythbuster. Van Gogh was poor, so struggling must be noble. The truth is, Van Gogh's brother sent him money every month so that he could paint. And then our caption. And she gave us an Twitter X version. Is it funny that we all call it Twitter X still, even though it was supposed to change to the name X? Nobody can call it X because it doesn't make any sense. People would say, what is X? It's just a letter. Okay, the bold question. When was the last time you created something you were truly proud of while panicking about money? I'll wait. Because it's true. It's really hard to create great art when you are stressed about money. Normally, it makes us rush, it makes us try to do what we think other people might want. We're not creating from a place of true intention and creativity and just making things that we want to make. At that point, we start making for others to try to get money now. But what we don't realize is if we can work from the other place of creating what we love, that people will be drawn to those things that we love. I call it Exeter, like President Chi. Isn't XI Chi, Jilly Bean? So is it Chitter? I like it. Or Exeter. So it gave us captions, the surprising stat. I'm loving this. Now, as you can see, let's ask Claude, how many social media posts have we developed from this blog so far? She's going to spell it all out like she likes to do. I should have said just a total, please. Oh, okay, yeah. Yes. I remember some things from Chinese art history. Chinese art history was probably the hardest art history I've ever taken because you kind of had to learn Chinese at the same time as learning about the art history of China. And so it was this really hard combination of trying to remember how to say the words and so that you could understand what the professor was saying. And she spoke fluent Chinese, even though she was from Japan. So she had a Japanese accent saying fluent Chinese, talking about art history. It was a very hard class. I loved it, but it was very hard. It is a very hard language, but I agree. It is so beautiful, so beautiful. And I was always so in awe of that professor that she could speak fluent Chinese, not having been from China. Okay. So we got 14 core social media posts, 25 platform specific variations, 13 carousel story slides, 5 complete video scripts. So 40 pieces of content already. And we still have 1, 2, 3 more prompts to ask. So let's see how much more we can get. 40 pieces is a lot of content. Wouldn't you agree? We can use this content for a really long time and we can space it out so it's not all the same kind of content talking about this one subject forever. You could space it out through the year. You could take those 45 posts and do one a month on this particular subject and draw people to that particular blog. So let's do the next prompt. Act as a social content strategist. Extract 5 hot takes or controversial strong opinions from my blog post and turn them into individual social media posts. I'm going to take out Twitter. Oh, all of those actually. I'm going to say Facebook, and you can put whatever platforms you frequent in here. LinkedIn and Instagram. Each should invite engagement or discussion. Now that's a good thing to prompt for Claude when you're getting some social media stuff. You want to, the more you can engage people on your social media, the more chance you have of your post getting seen by more people because they're commenting on it, they're excited about it, or they have something to say about it. That's why controversy works so well on social media. If you can think of something controversial that you're willing to have dialogue about with strangers, then it works really well. Be careful how far you go, unless you're, open to whatever comes next. If you are very tough and you have tough skin, I say go for it all the way. If you are soft and you want people to have nice conversations, then you have to stay more on the sweet side. It's just totally how your brand is. I tend to stay on the sweet side because I like to create an environment for my communities online where everybody feels safe and seen and loved and heard. And that's just kind of a thing that I've always appreciated. I'd rather have a small community of people that are all cheering each other on than this ginormous community of people with, you know, lots of nasty voices coming up over the nice people. Yes, that class, Jilly Bean, for Chinese art history was very difficult, but I was very impressed. I agree by her speaking. 40 pieces of yellow gold. I love that. Uh, I don't know if that's a fairy tale. Oh my gosh, that would be a really great fairy tale if there isn't. Maybe you should write it. I love it. You're never controversial. Jelly bean. Why do I think that's not true? You love to make people laugh, which can be controversial, right? Well, I mean, topics can be controversial that make people laugh, not laughing itself. Okay, so it gave me 5 hot takes. Hot take one: the starving artist myth is a scam. It gave me, whoa, oh, a different version for each platform. Hot take two: you can't do good art when you're broke. It gave me a Facebook version, a LinkedIn version, and an Instagram version. I would say it made the Instagram version way too long. People are not reading like that on Instagram, I don't. And hot take three: passive income isn't optional anymore, it's survival. So in this case, I would have gone back in and said, I need the Instagram posts to be quite a bit shorter, that people aren't reading like that on Instagram. Facebook, LinkedIn, you can get people to read, but Instagram, I mean, sometimes I think it's more rare. So it gave me all of those. It's fantastic. And let's get the next one. Act as a micro content expert. I want to turn my blog post into 5 short standalone social posts, each teaching one idea or tip from the article. Each post should include a one-liner hook, a tip, and an optional CTA. Make them short, quick, punchy, not a lot of reading. So we have a lot of these that are very long, and I would like some short, quick ones now, especially since we're asking for micro content for social. Yeah, it is kind of a lot. Jilly Bean says it seems like it's a lot to make different content for each platform. It is. And I don't do it often. I do it when I am trying to sell something specific, but when I am just working on social media content, I will often post it the same across all platforms. So what I'll do, since Instagram performs better with short captions and LinkedIn performs better with long captions, I tend to do a mix. When I'm, approaching it, I'll try to do some short, some long, and keep going back and forth. So that some are hitting on one platform and some are hitting on another better. It just really depends. But I do agree. I do think it's a lot to make it different for every platform. Now, people like Gary Vee and people with teams that are working for them. They have whole teams that are working on each platform. This team works on TikTok. This team works on Pinterest. This team works on Facebook. This team works on LinkedIn. And that is a whole different ball of wax. But us as artists, entrepreneurs, just trying to get our information out there, I think it's perfectly fine to go ahead and schedule the same content to all of your platforms at once, like we did in Publer recently. So, okay, yes, one day having those teams. I don't know if I'm interested in having teams of people working on my social. I mean, I wouldn't mind having some helpers, but I don't want a lot of employees or a lot of training. I did a lot of training my whole life. I have been promoted to manager in every job I've ever been in. And so I've trained at every job I've ever been in, trained other people. And while I love teaching, training is such a different thing because you're on site and they have to get it right. Whereas when you're teaching, the people can take that information and then make it theirs. And I don't need them to get it right. They can get it right or they can get it wrong or they can test and play around. But when someone's working for me, they've got to get it right so that the content gets out and everything's still on brand. So I definitely am in the phase of life where I want to be a solopreneur with possibly a couple of contractors working for me at some point, just to help, with things like scheduling out content or um, managing my YouTube lives and replacing the thumbnails so that they're updated to higher resolution ones. I don't know if you guys notice when you get on the YouTube live, it shows a really low resolution form of my thumbnail for whatever reason, because it's very high res. But then I can go back in and put the high res version in later. It's really odd, but that's just how YouTube works. Unless I work through another platform, which I might at some point. I do have OBS, so I've thought about going through that. It has a bit of a learning curve, so we'll see when I get to learning how to do that and try doing it. Okay, so we got micro posts here. Your brain is in survival mode, can't access creativity. It's neuroscience, not laziness. And that's on the image, and then the caption is nice and short. Micropost 2, Van Gogh wasn't self-made. His brother sent him money every month so he could paint. Stop romanticizing the struggle. And then it gives me a nice little short caption. I love these. These are nice, quick, fast. I feel like these would perform really good on Instagram or TikTok or anywhere where people want short captions and more of a visual aspect going on. And then it gave me some Twitter X posts just in case I was missing those by accident. And some pins, which Claude knows I love a good pin. And Pinterest is another one where you have to be very short on the caption. It only gives you so much room. And people are not reading captions very often. They're going to see the first 5 or 6 words on a Pinterest pin, if they see any at all. That would mean they opened it up to see it larger. And then she gave me some design templates ideas and a rapid fire speed posting strategy. Post all 5 across 2 to 3 hours, 9 a.m., 10:30, 12, 2, and 4. That's interesting. I think I would like to try that sometime, doing a rapid fire. A daily drip where you go each day, or doing them over the course of 2 weeks. So these are really great. I really like the short captions. They're more me too. I mean, how often do we really sit down and write a 3, 4, 5 paragraph post? It's pretty rare. Naturally, from our own accord, not through AI. And so I feel like the shorter captions are much more me, much more real. It gives me an idea to remix them for extended mileage. So that makes even more posts. Uh, a bunch of call to action options. Fantastic. Okay, let's try the last one. Act as a short form storytelling expert. Let's see here. Okay, sorry. Losing my voice again. Okay, act as a short form storytelling expert based on the blog post. Based on my blog post, I don't need to say about. Turn the key message into a short video script told as a personal or hypothetical story, including conflict, insight, and a resolution. Under 60 seconds total. And take this off. I'm going to write one for Sora 2 and one for me to record myself, just so I have both. Okay, what is the chat? Yes. Did you notice that, Jilly Bean? The low res image that it shows you, it frustrates me to no end, and I've been trying to figure it out, but Kate says that there's no way around it. It's just a YouTube thing. They say that they're compressing it so that when I go live, it's not taking up as much bandwidth, so that I can come on and it's not going to slow it down. I don't know, something. She gave me some pretty good explanation, but I was pretty disappointed. Yeah, I like the micro posts too. I think they're just, and we all have social media fatigue. I feel like sometimes, as we're looking through this, why we love imagery and video, because we're not reading captions. We're seeing the video. We're getting lost in the images, and we're not having to read all these caption after caption after caption after story after story after story. I think that's why Pinterest performs so well, because it's so visual. Instagram tries to do that, but then kind of failed, but then brought in reels. I don't know. Instagram's just kind of always all over the place with what it's doing. TikTok does it really well with video after video. I love that. What other places are visual like that? I think that's it. And then, Facebook and LinkedIn are more where people are going to expect to read people's stories or what's going on in their life and that kind of thing. So she gave me 2 story-driven video scripts, one for me to record. I'm in my studio looking tired but real. So it's 3 a.m. last Tuesday, and I'm lying in bed scrolling through my bank account again, calculating if I can afford groceries this week and the art supplies that I need. And I'm thinking, this is not why I became an artist. Then the energy changes. But here's what hit me. Every time I create art from that panic place that I need this to sell energy, it doesn't sell, because people can feel it. They feel the desperation. I used to say this in vending all the time. I used to vend in real life my products and sell them to people face to face. And vendors would ask me, how do you do so well? And I said, because I stay open, I stay optimistic, and I love what I do, and I love my products. And they would just say, the frumpy ones that were asking me the question in the first place. And they never could see past the fact that, sitting in the back of your booth, looking grumpy is not really going to draw people in. It's not going to make people want to buy. And I feel like art is the same way. If you're sitting in your studio going, putting the things together, making the art, painting, just trying to make something come out to try to sell, people can feel that. But when you put your love and your creativity and your thoughts and your dreams and your everything into your art, it becomes a thing of not of desperation. It becomes a thing of beauty that everybody wants. People say, wow, what is that? I want it. And that's where we need to get as artists, even if we're not in that place of making money yet. I know a lot of artists are just starting out as trying to make money with their art. And so you want to, even though you're in that place where you're not making money from your art yet, maybe, have a side job or something so that you can be bringing in money another way so that your art can still be the thing that you're putting love and devotion into instead of having to force it to make money. And so it gives the realization, the insight, and the resolution. And then it gave me filming notes, what to wear, editing tips, the Sora 2 cinematic story. Very fun. Gave a voiceover and slides. I don't know why there are slides. Oh, Instagram stories. Okay, I was like, why are there slides for store? That's not. It's for Instagram stories. This is awesome too. So she's just giving me more than I even asked for, which I love. Filming hacks for your personal video. That is a great hack. Film your entire 55 seconds straight through. Then, and don't worry about perfection. Just get the story out. Just say the words once. It's only for you. Just say it, get it out, whatever. And then you're kind of warmed up. And then the next time you do it, you can do it in a lot better way, I think. Hello, Akshay. Nice to see you tonight. We're almost wrapping up, but you'll be able to watch the replay if you'd like. And then one-shot method, performance predictions, pro tips, and repurposing the scripts. So I'm going to ask Claude now, how many pieces of content do we now have total? Just give me the total number, please. $78 pieces of visual content from this 7 prompt chain. That is incredible. You could post, oh, no worries, Akshay. He says, sorry, I'm late. No worries. You could take those 78 posts and you could spread them out for months, or you could do them all month long. You could do 10 a day. You could, whatever you wanted to pull off. But I think using AI, taking that blog that's full of all this rich content, giving it to Claude, saying, hey, let's make social media posts out of this. And now here we have tons and tons of social media posts, from teasers to get people to come read the blog to just content that's got repurposed from out of the blog. It's like Gary Vee said years ago. I don't know if you follow him, but he's always teaching, how to do social media better. And one of the things he taught years ago is to take one piece of content and turn it into 30. And that is a really good tip, and this is how you do it. You take that long form piece of content. It could be a video like tonight's live. I could use the transcript from it, or it could be a blog, any piece of long form content that you have, and then turn it into lots of little pieces of content. And it just expands your reach and your voice and your thoughts out even more. It gives you the ability to push it out. In the past, we would have, without AI, we would have had to write all of these. And I doubt that we would have come up with 78. I'm guessing we probably would have come up with 10, 15. I mean, maybe a powerhouse social media creator comes up with 30, but coming up with over 78 pieces of content, all dialed in for each type of platform, is pretty phenomenal. Good job, Claude. Good job. So, does anyone have any questions about turning their content into their blog into content? Do you have questions about social media in general? Uh, if you have any questions, I could answer them real quick before we hop off. I appreciate you guys being here. It's been such a lovely evening. I love doing these with you because it gives me the opportunity to expand my thoughts and knowledge on a thing that I already know and I'm showing and demonstrating to you all, and then it gives you all the chance to learn how to do it too. Thanks, Akshay. So, well, thank you guys for being here tonight. We'll be back again tomorrow. Tomorrow's Friday. I'm thinking about a sweet friend of mine, Linda, gave me the idea to maybe do a Friday like art and sip type thing, like where you bring your favorite drink and, tea, wine, whatever it is, and then we all make some kind of fun art together. So I don't think I'll start that tomorrow, but that is on the horizon if you guys are interested in that. Let me know in the comments of this video. Let me know in the chat, whichever. If you're interested in that, that could be kind of fun. I think it could be fun to put on some music if we can find music that, well, I guess does it matter if it's copyright music? Might. I need to check that out. I'm saying excited a lot. Jill is hiccuping. You got to go back to the first video to see what I'm talking about. So I think that could be really fun. And we could make some cool art together. But that will be on the horizon. Tomorrow we'll do something else. I'm not sure what yet. It'll be a surprise. I hope to see you tomorrow. Mwah! Have a great night.